Today, one guy, two cups. AI scares me. I'm an older guy. It's the future, and I should prepare myself for it. But when I hear that it does certain things that is questionable to me, I want to know more about it. So today, let's drink about it and figure this one out. Welcome to One Guy, Two Cups. Today, we're sitting down with Larry Orton, the CEO and founder of wirewolf.ai. Larry, thanks for being here today.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know you got a lot on your plate, a lot of things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me, how did you get to this position? Did you wake up one day and say, I'm going to start an AI company?
Definitely not. That wasn't the plan. So, basically the idea was just, something that I was playing around with while I was attending UC Berkeley for my master's program.
Okay.
During that time, during different classes, I saw a need, to automate some of the tasks that we were doing in our studies and some other stuff. I've always been playing around with Hack the Box and Try Have Me and stuff like that. So I wanted to automate some of the stuff. Like, for example, you're always going to run nmap on something. So it's like, do I really want to, I had scripts saved and I could just copy and paste it in the terminal, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really wanted to automate that grunt work.
Okay.
I just want the output of the tool,
Right.
So I started creating kind of like my own terminal emulator with help of AI. And this is early enough. This is before like what we see now is like the big boom of, AI native offensive security tooling that we see now. And that's just how fast it is. I mean, in a matter of 2 years, from 0 to 1,000.
Yeah.
But, I'm just APIing into this terminal emulator that I made. Then I tried to make it baked into the Kali image, try different things. And then during our capstone at UC Berkeley, sat down, had some beers with another classmate who kind of spent, I don't know, a pretty long time just talking about how cool it was, his perspective, what he thought would make it better. And next thing I know, we're building it. Yeah.
And what year was that?
That would have been I think the capstone was 2024.
Okay.
It would have been April of 2024, I believe. I think.
Good.
Yeah. And of course that's Mark, our CTO, co-founder. It was just a fun project for me, but he was the one that saw like, this is something meaningful, and saw it more than just a toy. It was just fun for me.
Right.
And then we ended up doing our capstone project on it.
Okay.
Brought our other co-founder on, Richard Lay, who came on, and we worked on it and built that first concept, that proof of concept in the capstone.
So do you take the basic algorithm for an AI and then manipulate it into what you want it to do? Or do you create the AI algorithm from scratch?
Yeah. So no, you don't really need to recreate. You don't need to like make your own model.
Yep.
Well, one, it's like extremely costly.
Yes.
Like you really, to scale that, we're looking at millions to billions of dollars.
And teams of people.
Yeah. And people have already created that.
So don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. Take that reasoning that's already there.
Right.
The problem is, so like, the whole AI industry as a model, has been and is still really focused on reasoning, the power of reasoning. So you'll see when new models come out, one of the capabilities, it'll always say like enhanced reasoning, better reasoning. You always see this word reasoning on everything. So reasoning is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
You and I, we do this as humans. We reason about things.
Right.
But it's not the only thing that a human does. So what we wanted to do is use a model that reasoning is already paid for by a company. We need to reinvent that wheel.
Right. Another 10 years developing AI.
Yeah. The reasoning is fine. Use the reasoning because the reasoning is not, it is very important, but it's not like the real power that we needed.
Okay.
The real power that we needed, we had to, we had to invent, we had to create, we had to build ourselves through what we call an intelligence layer and a knowledge graph. We also used a lot of human heuristics, like emotions,
Mhm.
frustration, anger, all of those things.
Yeah.
Um, we tried to eventually kind of like reverse engineering like the way a human would think. Reasoning is part of it, but you need, you know,
A
y-
personality.
you need input.
Mhm.
Like, one of the papers that I wrote recently talked about this in the concept of you if a pan is hot, you could sit there and reason about it. And when I say reason, like, what would happen if I touched it?
Yeah.
What would happen if I didn't touch it?
But
How long is the handle? How long has it been on there? Like, we think that's reasoning. You're
mhm.
reasoning through something,
Yeah.
but we don't really need to do that
Right.
because one time we touched it and we burned ourselves. Right?
Yeah. I still do. I still do.
Yeah, and that's a data point. That's data.
Yeah.
It's like stored
Yeah.
in your
A memory.
right. So you don't really have to do a lot of reasoning. Hey, I'm not going to touch that
Right.
because in my memory bank, I have this artifact in there of getting burned.
Yes.
So what we did is we utilized existing AI reasoning models. Of course, would it be fun fun and awesome to create your own model? Sure. But again, the capital involved in that it just didn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what we did is we created operations in layers that gave all that other context that the model would need to reason about. And if we have the entire known path from start to finish in our memory, you don't really need AI to reason. You just need AI to pull the buttons and levers.
But
So, most of what we created is this knowledge graph, this intellectual layer that can do things that filter out some of the AI nonsense. I always say, AI is uh, it's pretty stupid. Like, you can reason,
to a point.
like, it's
Yeah.
very smart. Like, it's
Uh-huh.
just like a library is smart.
Mhm.
Library is full of books. It's got all the information in the world in it. You can query that information.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really mean that the library is going to make the right choice that you need
Correct.
in that moment. So yeah, that's what we did. We did build our own AI model or trained our own AI model for fun, but that's not a core existing feature in what we're trying to.
Okay. So I think a big question for people is if you're using AI, is the or do you have to create guidelines and boundaries, or does it automatically know where to stop, or does it just go off on its own tangent um, to do whatever the objective is?
Yeah. So right now, I know it feels like we're at the top of like AI, like we're at the summit, we're at the peak, but really we're in like the infancy of what we know as AI capabilities. Um, so right now we do provide instructions and then we provide skills that they can, with MCP tooling, they can act on. Um, and when we first started, the instructions were pretty heavy.
Mhm.
Those guardrails are pretty heavy, but as the models get better and better, the less reasoning you want. One of the things that we've seen in our research is like the more you constrain the model, the less it's reasoning. So if you do that, you're kind of choking that model down to a point where it's not usable.
Okay.
So there's like this blend of allowing an AI model the freedom to think, decide, take action, but also have the certain instructions required for it to successfully complete what you're trying it to do.
Okay.
So a good example is, we've seen this a bunch in our testing where with no guardrails, it will see something like port 22 is open. It won't have a username. It won't have a password, no hash to crack. And it's just like, oh, port 22 is open. Let me just brute force it. It's pretty stupid. Like, you don't want to do that. And it'll fail and it'll try it again.
God.
It'll fail and then it'll try it again.
Right.
It'll fail and then try it again.
Right. Repeat.
And you're just watching it, and,
No.
and you see this model that's like the top capabilities of reasoning compared to all models, and it's just doing a stupid action. So you apply these instructions, you employ it with skill sets, but you have to be careful.
Yes.
You got to mix the cake batter evenly, essentially. You got to figure it out.
That's your list.
Yeah, you got to like figure out, and as those models change, you kind of have to like go back to the drawing board and do a lot of testing to figure out, okay, do I need this instruction anymore? Do I need this constraint anymore?
Mm-hmm.
But generally, if you provided a set of instructions with a set of tools and tooling, skills and capabilities and resources, it will stay generally right on path.
Okay.
At least in what we're building at Wirewolf, it will stay on path. In scope, of course, we put a bunch of kill switches all over the place. Right. Some are hard coded kill switches. Some of them are actually killed by the model itself.
Really? Okay.
It just depends. Yeah.
Okay. I think that we talk about AI, and that's, everybody's using it on a daily basis. ChatGPT, Gronk, whatever that thing's called. I'm not smart enough to spell AI.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on that.
Yeah, it's IA. You have dyslexic.
Yeah. So that's the AI portion of it, which is everybody's using that now. Let's talk about Wirewolf.
Mm-hmm.
What is that product, and how does that, if you had 1 minute to talk to a hillbilly drinking a beer with you
Mm-hmm.
about what your company is, and I'm not technical, what would that question, how would you answer that question? What is Wirewolf?
So the easiest way to think of it is the entire cyber operation at the click of a button, that you don't need a whole lot of technical expertise to use, and you don't need a large staff to use. It could just be you click a button and it goes. It's managing your entire cybersecurity architecture and operations.
And when you say the architecture, so what is the function of the Wirewolf? Is it a intrusive? Is it a defensive or offensive posture for an AI?
Yeah, so it's offensive. So, one of the core beliefs that we have is you have to start from offensive. Thinking about it in like a military way. If we deploy overseas, we just don't sit on the FOB and wait for someone to show up. We have a FOB.
Gotta go out. Yeah.
We have a FOB, but we have to go out, collect intelligence, do route clearing, room clearing of sectors. Like, you have to do certain things. You can't just sit on the FOB and like put some gate guards up and then just see if it holds and just stand by. Right. Stand by for contact. So we believe that the only way that you can really prove to yourself, to your clients, customers, to your board, to the auditors, the only way you can prove that you're actually practicing security is through continuous offensive testing.
Okay.
So we are a native AI offensive operation.
Okay.
Essentially an operating system for that entire operation layer, that whole stack. It starts with offensive testing. I always tell people it's like having a real hacker, at your disposal. It's not doing like a shallow scan. It's not just looking for some known vulnerability because a service is out of date and then it just stops. The entire point is attack exactly like an actual attack.
Okay.
Within scope, right?
Okay. So that goes back to the parameters, like, so the way I perceive it is Wirewolf is looking for vulnerabilities in a network that gives other people access to their domain or their environment, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And so that AI, first of all, ADD, rather ADHD. Why are we talking about wolves? Why are wolf? What is the purpose of What's that?
Wolf. Yeah. So
Wolf.
the wolf is an image of a hunter,
Mhm.
the perfect hunter. Wolves hunt in the night. You can't hear them coming, and they're going to find you. And they're going to hunt you down.
Yeah.
If you're an elk,
You're done.
You're done.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the antithesis of like this whole concept of leashing a pack,
Okay.
hunting down that prey maliciously, aggressively,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
lethal, aggressive
Done
attack,
deal. Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
So that's the idea behind the wolf. Wolves are very hard to find. They're very hard to see.
Mhm.
They come in the night, and they're gonna get you. If there's a path to get you,
They're gonna find you.
they're gonna get you, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole concept of our offensive first approach is, you wanna practice like you fight, right?
Correct.
So you have to match whatever the current threat actor is.
Okay.
The new threat actor is an AI fully autonomous threat actor.
Every bit.
Yeah. So no human in that
Right.
loop. This is actually happening. It's written and documented. It's here. So the old cybersecurity model, between like red teaming, blue teaming, purple teaming, remediation,
Pen testing.
pin testing,
Yeah.
all of it, forensic, like literally everything you can think of in that entire cybersecurity life cycle, is not going to work anymore. It's old. It cannot scale to an AI threat actor. So we need to practice like we fight.
Okay.
And that's what Wirewolf is. It is your version of the AI threat actor in your pocket.
Okay.
And you can run it continuously when you want on a schedule, whatever's best for your business and business practices. Find exactly how that hacker would reach you. And then Wirewolf provides very direct guidance on remediation. Once it's remediated, those things are fixed.
So when you say the remediation, that is, it's found the problems.
Yeah.
And does it fix the problems or notify somebody that this problem exists?
Tells you, hey, here's a problem. Here's all the artifacts that we found that got us there. And here's the entire attack path in steps.
Okay.
So you can recreate that yourself
Okay.
and actually see how it got from point A to point B.
Okay.
And then it has remediation guidance that's provided by our local AI agent, Alpha. And it'll tell you things like, hey, this CV was found. However, it's noise. You don't need to pay attention to it.
Good.
Or this is a high severity. You need to fix this first, this second, this third. And then it will provide detail and guidance on how you actually fix that, which goes back. Right. So it provides this guidance for you to do that. Our ultimate vision is of our vision of a full unified security platform is to have auto remediation, but it's a very hard task.
Okay.
So right now we do guidance for remediation. And once it's fixed by whatever remediation platform, whether you're using a service or you do it yourself in-house, then you can redeploy Wirewolf to attack that same action path that was found.
Okay.
And that ensures that remediation stuck. It worked. Right.
Done deal.
Or it didn't work. The remediation was fixed. The issue was fixed. But then it pivoted and found another door that they could walk through. Right.
Yeah.
Again, Wirewolf's goal is to not just find a problem. It's to hunt meticulously for anything within scope. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
If
You're playing.
parameters,
Yeah.
right?
You set up. Yeah.
It's going to move around just like an actual threat actor.
Is Wirewolf, is it a tier based program? So let's say I have ABC company and we sell mugs.
Mhm.
No. So we have a network, we have a website. Wirewolf would give us the ability to monitor our network and our website for any type of like
Any
attacks, get some weird what is that called? DNS,
Mm-hmm.
where they like just bombard your site and they shut it down.
Yeah.
And it will tell you where that's coming from.
So well, it's coming from, because they're the attacker. So it would be you.
It'd be you causing it.
Right. So yeah, it's looking, so anything that you provide it to look at, it's going to look at. So the service is there in a way that you control how you want to use it. So it's just however you want to use it is how you're going to use it.
Okay. How many people are on your team right now with Wirewolf?
Yeah. So there's 3 of us.
Just 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're a startup,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to crack your way into the world right now.
Yeah.
How is that going? And what kind of hurdles have you come across that has made this a really tasking thing?
I think, I think that our team, I think unconventional teams solve unconventional problems. And our team is unconventional in the sense that each of us hold a specialty and a background that doesn't bleed into the other.
Okay.
So we have a capability of being able to bounce things off of each other in a unique way.
Okay.
Where we can find unconventional solutions. So I think that as far as, building Wirewolf is fun. So it's not really a task.
So, right.
Right. So I've never sat behind the keyboard and was like, oh, another day.
Yeah, here we go again.
Never had that. Building is fun. Our team loves building. It's actually really fun to watch Alpha talk. We have voice activation as well, so you can hear it, you can talk to it, and it'll talk to you back, or you can just watch it through text.
And when you say talk, so that's during the attack?
Mm-hmm. While it's doing the attack, I use the voice on every attack. Of course, I don't have a bunch of people in an office with me where that's going to be.
Can you turn that down?
So I don't need a headset or anything, but it's really nice to be able to listen to it in a human way instead of reading it. So I do like that feature, but it's really nice to hear Alpha explain exactly what they found, how they're attacking it. That didn't work. How about this? Actually,
try this now.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's not hard to do. So the problems are hard to solve, but again, if it's fun, I don't really see it as
it's not really hard.
Yeah,
it just
yeah. I think that the biggest thing is we are a team with an ambitious vision. We know we're going to get there, and to us, it's a no-brainer, right?
Right.
But
to the world,
we're looking, when you're reaching out for, and I would say this for any startup, the things that I've learned so far is investors is different than talking to a potential client,
right,
which is different than talking to an advisor, which is different than talking to one of your peers.
Totally separate. Yeah.
And those things, the way I handle is I flip a switch, right? I have to think like an engineer in this conversation. I have to think like a sales rep in this conversation. You have to think
it's a lot of hats.
And yeah, you're kind of, you have to understand what the other person across the table needs to understand. So again, one of the very early things that we dealt with is, hey, we're collapsing the cybersecurity stack. We're starting with the offensive security sector. We're going to collapse this into one unified tool and operating system. And everything we would get back is oh, you're just an AI pen testing tool. No, so you have to learn.
So your category, they generalized everything.
Category.
Yeah. So you're put right into that pigeonhole of this is what you are.
Right.
And we had talked before about some of the things that Wirewolf does is it's autonomous, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't require the interference of a human being sitting there um, watching and waiting patiently.
It's fun too, but yeah,
Sit there and listen to it.
yeah, it's fun.
But it's autonomous. So I was reading your article the other day, and I was looking at some statistics that I thought was very intriguing. Was it was $16.8 billion was lost through cybersecurity, through either neglect or they weren't monitoring
Or a lot of times they're doing everything right. And that goes back to what I was saying before is like the old model is just insufficient.
it's done.
So it's not someone did something wrong. We just didn't move with the pace of the new app.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at, what was that called? Moore's Law.
Mm-hmm.
Technology doubles every 18 months, depending on the economy, resources and stuff. So anything that was, generated 4 years ago, we're on the second or third version of that now.
Yeah.
So what would you say is going to be your biggest hurdle, in the next 18 months?
Keeping up. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the, what change is going to happen that, that you're going to have to be like, oh, we've got to make this adjustment because now this is out and this is just common knowledge now. Everybody's got this.
Yeah.
So what would you do on your front to say, hey, we're going to stay ahead of the curve, look for trends, I guess, look for trends. And
yeah, I think there's like a mixture, right? So especially if you're a startup, right now, the startup experience from 2 years ago, it's not even comparable. We're talking about two different eras almost in a span of 2 years. With AI accelerating the startup process. So I always say someone's going to come up with the unified security platform. That might as well be me.
Yeah.
Like
no time like the present.
Right. Like
just do it.
But if you trying to pay attention to the new startup or the company that's doing something, I feel personally that you'll make bad decisions because you're reacting to that contact. You're reacting to what you just, oh my gosh, this company is now doing this. And that's something I'm working on right now. So I need to hurry up I think it's a happy medium of like understanding what's happening in the market. From investor side to buyer side, startup side, like, yes, you don't have your head in the sand, but generally we just focus on what we're doing. And I always say this, like, if you go to the grocery store, you go to the bread. There's a lot of bread.
There's a lot of bread. Yeah.
There's a lot of bread companies, there's these mom and pops that just do flaxseed and, they've got white bread. Some are really small, some are thick, but it's all bread.
Yeah.
Right. And none of those bread companies are worried about the other bread company necessarily.
That's correct. Yeah. So they just do their thing.
They do their thing. Yeah. Right? I think if you focus on what your vision is, what you're trying to build, and you believe in it, you just focus on that thing and just, put your head down and grind. And that's the most important thing you can do.
Every bit.
If you're watching everybody else, you're going to get in this like
rabbit hole.
This like tornado of thought of like, well, maybe we should do this and maybe we should do that. And we got to pivot to here. No. The acceleration is too fast.
Just stay your course and
focus on what you're doing. If you believe in what you're doing and you know that you're going to make a change, that's the biggest thing. If what you're building changes nothing, why are you doing it? Right.
Yeah.
So it's that impact that's gonna help that community. We want to redefine the old cybersecurity operations, right? So that's a meaningful thing for us. We believe in it. Those rules have not been written yet. What that's going to look like has not been solidified. Cybersecurity right now is kind of like building a plane as it flies kind of thing, where as we're going month by month, different, you'll see reports come out, different operations, different practices, best practices, stuff like that. But it's largely not established and written in the education books at this point. So we want to make a meaningful change in that. And we actually believe it will, in what we're doing and what we're building is going to make a large impact, a meaningful change. So you just focus on that one thing,
Yeah, just keep
and
pushing
just
through
keep
it.
dropping. Yeah.
Just keep pushing through it.
Mhm.
Where do you see the company in 2 years?
Yeah. So
In the utopian world,
yeah,
where would you see that company in 2 years?
yeah, I would see our company with a full unified security stack at the end of year one, going into year two. That's given. We have grown the team,
Hmm.
right? It's that perfect scenario, right? If you have the investment and funding required, you've grown your team with
Hmm.
the people that can grow it. I see no reason to not have our vision
Yeah.
established within the.
Well, you've made some pretty fast moves in, from 2024 to, 2 year
Yeah,
timeline. I mean, you're moving pretty quick.
yeah,
So if you keep that same momentum, you keep moving forward the way you are.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And it's important to note that we didn't actually we didn't even become an official company until this past February.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
You're mate. Yeah. This came out.
it was always something we did in capstone, something we talked
Hmm.
about. And then when we hit the February timeframe is when we started taking things seriously and actually developing. So it's less than, a year. Uh, so we've been able to grow. We've added open source intelligence to it, forensics, red teaming operations and offensive security. So I think that, as we grow and we just take one more bite of that apple, it's just the accelerator that makes the difference,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, getting the right team, getting the right investors, getting the right partners, um, is really going to make that change to where 12 months later you have a full unified system.
Yeah. Get the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and again, like as a company, you can make a company to you could have a company to build software to make money.
Hmm.
You could do that.
Hmm.
And that's totally fine. You could make software to impact the world. That's great. Usually those make money.
Yeah. It,
You just
a little bit. Yeah.
by chance, right?
Yeah.
Um, so like with us, we're not focused, you know, it, let's say Wirewolf is very successful and we end up exiting. Great, sure. And we don't. IPO, great, sure. But that's not what we're focused on. Like
Hmm.
we're focused on our vision, making
Hmm.
that impact, making that change.
Yeah.
Uh, and like I said before, like being a part of that redefinition of cybersecurity and operations and what that looks like for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's all about staying focused on your vision. Everything else does matter. You got to think business,
Yeah.
y- all of this,
All the pieces that
everything that come with a company.
uh-huh.
Those things matter.
Yeah, every bit.
Culture matters. All that
Uh-huh.
stuff matters.
Yeah.
Um, but what's at the base of that? It's that vision,
Yeah.
the ultimate goal. Like, what are you trying to do? And so we just stay focused on that. And by doing that, we've accelerated pretty fast.
That's awesome. If you have, so as a consumer, if I was like, yeah, I need this in my life,
Mhm.
what is the process for me to say, like, one, how do I reach you?
Mhm.
And then what do I do? So we got Billy Bob, who's our IT guy,
Mhm.
and we've had a lot of problems. We've been hacked, been shut down. What would I tell Billy Bob? Like, we need to get somebody who's watching the network and shutting this stuff down. What would be the steps for the consumer to say, this is what we need to do, and how does that go about?
Yeah. So, like I said, those are rules that aren't fully written out yet because you're talking about not just us as a werewolf. You're actually talking about security operations.
Correct.
So, security operations right now is not unified, which is what we're trying to do.
Hmm.
So it is going to be a step process, of course.
Okay.
Um, Wirewolf, like I said, is going to continue to take that bite of the apple. So we're going to continue to take chunks of the cybersecurity operations one bite at a time.
Okay.
right now, if you're, let's say, a mid-market company, you're probably using an MSP, MSSP. You're using an outside source for your security. For an MSP, Wirewolf is great. Um, it it does unify operation for you, can provide better solutions for your clients, your customer base. And to contact us, we do have a website, wirewolf.ai. Um, that's the easiest way to contact us. There's a contact form and an email address on there as well. Right now, we're focused on engineering. So at this point, we're looking for very specific design partners at this time.
Okay.
What we have is, like I said before, it's a hacker at your disposal,
Right.
right? So we have to make sure that we are engineering and developing this operations in a safe and secure manner.
Mm-hmm.
So partnering with meaningful and fit design partners is where we're at right now to make sure that what we do provide later to customers has been tested, validated, and secure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have AI doing the offensive. Hackers are using AI against the opposite side of that.
Mm-hmm.
Which one will prevail? Is it who has the best AI that will make it through the finish line, or is it, or are the theories like universal? Like we can just shut this down. We found a problem, we can kill it, but the attacker has AI that's super advanced and can do weird stuff. So when you have two AIs communicating, in my book,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, which is very small, but
Yeah.
how do you determine who will win the battle?
So that's an interesting question because the the most important thing is TTB, time to reach.
Okay.
Okay, so how fast? So if it's a leg race, right? Between me and you, right?
You'll win.
I'll win, right? So if it's a leg race, right?
Yeah.
We are both human, given the same cognitive abilities and the same reasoning abilities. Let's just say that as the setup, right? There's no reason why one person should be faster than the other. Let's say,
Okay.
we're not going to cross the finish line.
Coming up.
There's just too many variables.
Correct.
Right? Maybe you stayed up late, had too many drinks.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
Right. So there's just too many variables. And that's kind of what we're seeing on the models. So for example, we could use Wirewolf and test on the target devices that we test on and run a scan. Watch it do the entire autonomous attack. Then do it again. Same target, same Wirewolf agent, same everything. And you will not have the exact same steps you might have the same outcome, maybe,
But not the same steps.
Not the same steps and at the same exact timestamp.
Okay.
And that comes into reasoning, artifacts, failures in the scan. It could be a given number of variables that would, create those differences. So when you're talking about an AI threat actor versus Wirewolf, the goal is a threat actor needs a target, right? So a threat actor isn't just going to have one target, it's got multiple targets. And first it has to find the target.
Correct.
It has to determine the target,
Uh-huh.
right? Where we have, an extra leg in that race is Wirewolf is deployed by you in your company, and you know that you're only targeting you, right? So if you can run Wirewolf continuously, right, you're already ahead of the game. You're already ahead of that threat actor. Okay. So that's the goal, is continuous, meaningful offensive security testing on you.
Okay.
If you can do that,
Right.
hopefully, right, you're going to be able to determine those open doors,
Yes.
those vulnerabilities, way before that threat actor even determined you were a target, right?
Yeah.
Which is the importance of continuous offensive testing all the time. Specifically on any meaningful change. So if you are a mid-market SaaS company and you deploy an update to your product, that was a change. Probably should have some offensive testing continuously around those events.
Let's check that out. Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that you should only run offensive security when you change something in your environment all the time, because, just like if I'm a human pen tester, right, and I pen test your endpoint, I might find a certain attack path. That doesn't mean that's the only one that was there. It just means that's the one I found at
There
that
could have
given
been
time.
this one. Yeah.
Right. So, you run offensive security in one time, which is like the old school standard, like you do a third party penetration test. Depending on the compliance model that you have to meet, maybe one time, 2 times a year. That's a snapshot. It doesn't really today.
Yes.
Doesn't really mean anything anymore.
No.
So it has to be continuous. And our goal too is, if you're that mid-market SaaS company and you outsource your security, okay, because you don't have a cybersecurity team.
Okay.
Maybe the only technical person in your company is your CTO and maybe a few engineers that work for him, right?
Okay.
No one running your security operations, and you're outsourcing that to some type of service, MSP, MSSP, whoever you outsource that to. You don't have control of your own security. Now you do. MSPs are great. MSSPs are great. There's all types of like third-party actors that you can utilize and services you can utilize, and these are all fantastic. They're amazing.
Yeah.
But it's not in-house. It's not you, right? We're trying to provide better resources for those third parties. MSPs, MSSPs, all those people, right? Wirewolf is a huge value. We love to partner with those individuals because providing better security options for them provides better security options for that CTO.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? But also want to provide another opportunity for that CTO that does want control. They do want to be able to run meaningful security operations without having to hire 3-4 employees and pay for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tools. Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Or maybe they want to outsource most of their security, but they would also like to do their own independent in-house, offensive security operations, right? So there's so many different ways. It's not as simple as like plug it into the wall and go.
Right.
Right. And again, we don't know what the new rules are. This thing is kind of like developing as it's rolling out.
Mm-hmm.
In the whole cybersecurity community. And especially with like, if you go online and you see security professionals talking about AI, finding the meaningful bits is actually kind of hard to do, because you get like the word agentic, okay, was thrown around way too early.
Okay.
Okay. The cognitive possible abilities of AI has been thrown around. There's just the hype. It's called the hype.
The media,
Just like people,
the way you're perceiving it, what's been told to you.
Yeah, I feel like humans, we get excited too easily.
Every bit.
Yeah. Shiny new thing. It's the best thing in the world.
Yeah. It's my
think about it. Like when we were kids and we had pagers.
Yeah. That was
the shit.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So like we had pagers and now we look back at that and go, was that real meaningful?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Then in the moment, but then the moment it was the best thing.
Yep. That was it.
I remember when Nextel came out with the 2-way, it was like, I remember thinking like, oh my God.
The walkie-talkie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the walkie-talkie we got at Walmart for playing Cowboys and Indians, right? Yeah. So I think that humans just, we react, we overreact. And I think when AI was coming out, and it was really cool.
Hmm.
And so we immediately went from this is cool to this is going to take over the world.
Yes. Skynet.
Skynet.
Yeah.
And we are all susceptible to that, including thought leaders and security professionals in
Yeah.
the space. And when they are saying those things, now it amplifies that noise,
Yeah.
right? So, it's really hard to find the meaningful bits in the story that we are now living out of AI in the human world.
Yeah.
Right. So, are we all Cylons? It's possible, right?
What?
But yeah, I think we just have to focus on, go back to the scientific method, right?
Yeah.
Observe. And we really need to test it and see if it's repeatable with the same outcome and determine the reality of where we're at instead of living in the inflated set
Yeah.
of the conversation,
Hmm.
right? I think we are, I've read several articles claiming that we are like I said before, we're at the peak of AI and this is
No.
yeah, and I really think
No. You're on the event horizon. You're on
yeah.
the outside. I think you're going to have a major development. Well, hold up. So, like you said, something shiny, squirrel, right?
Yeah.
And that you watch the news, you watch somebody say, "Oh, there's Elon. We're going to reach ASI, or the super intelligence here in the next 6 months." So, I mean, those seeds get planted in your brain, like, "Oh, we're on our way." But
Mhm.
I think like you said, we are at the very beginning of this, and it's only going to progress. It's going to get bigger and bigger. I think what point, at what point do we have to say we need to stop?
Yeah, I think if you look back in history, have we ever done that?
We've never done that.
Right. So I don't
Push
think
it. We push it.
yeah, I don't think there's a stop button on this. I don't think there's ever really a stop button. I think if anything stops, it's because it's no longer a valid use case, right?
Yeah.
We see this in all technology. It used to all controllers on gaming consoles had to be wired,
Yep.
right? When did someone stop that per se? Did we say, hey, no more cables attached to the Xbox? It wasn't someone stopped it.
No.
It just phased out. Why? Because we found new technology.
Bluetooth. Yeah.
You didn't need to have a cable on it,
Yep.
right? So these are all very simplistic examples. But I don't think there's the government needs to stand up a hearing to stop
Right.
something. I think that, between like the research, education and operator environment coupled with the get is going to weed all of that out.
Okay.
And again, we don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
There's always a bubble. Those bubbles always pop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's going to be all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an AI bubble? Has it popped yet? Is it going to pop?
I don't think the AI bubble's even started.
Yeah, maybe not. I think again, it's all going to come down to compute and
Mm-hmm.
an AI spin.
Mm-hmm.
It's really going to come down to that. And generally technology gets cheaper over time.
Yes.
More expensive. So I do think that the AI model started too cheap, which I think you can kind of read between the lines in the market on that and see pricing going up, not going down.
Yeah.
But I think again, that stuff will all level out in the future. I think that the way AI is today, so a way a model operates and works and is developed and trained and weighted today will die. I don't think what we have now is something that is exactly being used that way in, let's say, 5 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Just like the cable on the Xbox controller.
Yeah.
I think that technology is going to advance at a more rapid pace because
Mm-hmm.
we do have AI, right? And I think those things will weed itself out, and I don't think there will be a stopping mechanism. It'll just be go, 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 go.
Yeah.
We, as humans, we just go.
That's all you do.
We just
Push it down.
Yeah.
Go.
How hard can we take it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think um, it's going to be an interesting time because of the speed, right? So if you used to have like human intelligence, human assisted intelligence. Now, this could be like the early days of Google search, even, like then you had the internet, you could search things, find answers.
Yeah.
And that augmented your intelligence, right? And that's just continuously scaled to move into AI. And really, it's the speed and the rate at which you can get that information.
Right.
Right. So think of it as like Google, you want to know an answer, is the earth flat? So you could put that in Google search.
Yeah.
It's going to give you articles. You have to read those articles, read forums, posts, whatever. But to determine what your answer is for you, you have to open up multiple things.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to read it.
It's just time. So AI has just closed that window.
Took all those variables and put it into a
right. So now instead of going to Google, which Google's now AI assisted, but the original Google search now is just go to an AI model and you have your answer, right?
Yeah.
And depending on how you prompt it, could give you just a one sentence answer. I'm good to go. Right. So it's all about speed. And I think that the education community is definitely starting to feel that AI accelerant.
Yeah.
In the education community. But I think like for the future, that's going to be a very difficult task to manage education, because that's not, when you start going from like AI assisted intelligence to the time between the human asking a question and getting the answer is milliseconds. What does that look like in the education system?
Yeah.
Which means the education system would have to do something like adapt to that policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the educational space, it's going to be difficult, and the educational space is going to have to adopt something, and it's probably going to lean more towards just accepting not just a little bit of support, co-pilot, or augmentation. I think that you're going to see humans just completely embedded with this co-intelligence of AI, right? Where the human is the thought, but all of the intelligence being built around that thought is from the AI, it's the human, which is going to create all kinds of problems. Is not the right word. I think it's not. I don't know if saying like, hey, that's a problem. I think it's just a challenge that's going to have to be figured out.
Yeah.
And there's this theory of, if, most companies right now, not most, there are companies now that most of their engineering is done by AI, right? And just like anything else that we do as humans that we take pride in, you're going to have like two different types of people. You're going to have that person that spent 20 years as a software engineer, takes pride in what they do, right? And they're going to, of course, not be happy with a person that is using AI only in code. Like,
they put in the hours, so now you got a dude that just shows up and uses all his work
right
that he created.
Right. And God, you see that anywhere.
Yes.
I mean, what's going to happen when you no longer need actors and actresses, right? So these things are an art.
Yeah.
Okay. And art is a good example. So AI isn't the first time you've been able to create digital art. We've been creating digital art long before.
A long time.
Right. And we just kind of accepted that version of art. Did that mean painters went away?
No.
There's people still in the city downtown that can sketch you on the road.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, we have to separate what is art, because humans are always going to enjoy art.
Yeah.
Right? You like that. And then one is a business practice, which is, how fast can I build a product
And monetize it.
monetize?
Yeah.
There's like this whole
Yeah.
business side,
Everybody.
right? And there's an artistic side. So in the form of acting, as an example, do I think there will be a point where you could make an entire movie from just using an AI model or some modification of existing software with AI? I think definitely.
Yeah.
We're seeing kind of like ideas of that already.
Yeah.
Making an entire movie. Would we watch it if it's good? Yeah,
I would. Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
If it's good, if it's a good movie, I'd watch
I'll
it.
watch it. Yeah.
Does that mean that I would refuse to watch a human acted
No.
movie? No, I would still watch it,
Right.
because we appreciate art forms,
Correct.
and we will always go to those art forms no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a guitar player, you're a guitar player. I like to play guitar. Okay. Can I go on a computer with AI and write a song without playing my? Sure.
Every bit.
Every bit. So the point I'm making is, I don't think it's this all or nothing approach that we're seeing discussed today, where it's, well, AI means no more software engineers. AI means no more singers, no more actors. AI means no more teachers in the school, because you can just have an AI teach kids at school. It's but
Yeah.
it's not all or nothing. And it doesn't mean that all the engineers are going to now turn into, overweight people playing Warcraft in their living room all day because they have nothing else to do.
Was
Right.
it Wally
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Just going around.
on a gurney?
Yeah. Like I think that's a little,
Absolutely.
a little too drastic. And I think it's going to be a combination. Do we know what that answer is? No.
Yeah.
Do I think it's the end of the world? Do I think that meaningful things will have to change? Yes. We've seen this through like the printing press, and
Yeah.
anytime there's a new technology, the way that old system worked is now gone, and we had to adapt new system.
Correct.
I do think AI is actually going to create jobs. Will it end? Is there a possibility that it could end a job? Yes. But I
Yes.
think in parallel, it will create a job. I think you're going to have more like, AI applied engineers, AI engineers, or prompt engineers, or I think, to create a new environment, a new, operation that requires those people to be employed.
Yeah.
The good thing about that is now everything being text-based, the way AI is modeled, means that you're not looking at one person in a population of 100 that could do that job anymore. Almost everybody in that population could
do that.
could do something in that space.
Right.
And there's a lot of individuals that I know personally who have extremely creative minds and can think outside the box and create very unique and very specific solutions to problems, but don't know how to engineer it.
Correct.
If you give them that capability,
Yes.
now we've got the right person for the job, right?
Yeah.
One of the, AI companies that I communicate with and keep track of says that they don't, if I might have this wrong, but I think I'm close. They don't have engineers, they have builders, right? So
Okay.
I think this concept of like building something and not being specific to the technology behind it being built.
Okay.
Getting people that can think about a problem, find solutions, have great ideas, artistic minds, aggressive thinkers, giving them that other layer of intelligence that they can pull from, that supplies them with resources and skills they may not have otherwise had, is just going to grow that community. Yeah.
I think it's pretty interesting. I use ChatGPT on a question about wirewolf and AI. And the question was, will the humans be replaced with AI to provide these functions? And,
ChatGPT
Mhm.
spits all the stuff.
It's going to tell you what's fun in here. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing I thought was interesting was the creative aspect of a human.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's look, like you just said,
Yeah.
somebody's going to think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
The AI has its parameters, and this is my mission, this is my goal, this is where I'm going. And then the human's like, man, have you ever thought about checking the dumpster?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so something different outside the box. I think that's always going to be something that will be, even though you have these abilities and these tools, and I think you're always going to have the human aspect helping the AI, working in conjunction to get past whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Another example I usually like to use is like, so for me, I am severely dyslexic. And anybody watching this that knows me will laugh because they know I'm severely dyslexic. Like, just read one of my texts that I have not generated with AI. Like, you're going to go, what the world? You know,
that's not even a word.
Yeah.
What
like
is that?
You know, my wife, and with a father who was a mechanic and stuff like that, right? And so in my brain, I cannot determine the difference between the word break, like you're taking a break, and the brake on your car. And if I say, hey, I'm going to take a break in text, my brain can't, it just sees break.
B-R-A-K.
Yeah, I can't, my brain just can't. And if I look at it, my brain sees the correct word when it's not the correct.
Yeah.
So for me, Microsoft Word, before, forget AI, Microsoft
Spell check.
spell check.
Yeah.
Then we got autocorrect, right?
Yeah.
No one was, you know, the education system was like, you're not allowed to use a spell. You're not allowed to use a, right?
Yeah.
But with all joking aside, like, what did that do for someone like me? That allowed me to be an author. That allowed me to sit at the table in the world of education.
Yes.
So for me, the crazy story is, in elementary school, I was determined to have dyslexia in first grade. During this time in the 90s, we didn't, like, we knew what dyslexia was, but the amount of resources and knowledge about dyslexia today, not even close.
Yeah.
So in the elementary school sector, I was pulled into special education.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We didn't, those weren't even a thing back then.
Well, that's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was just like your special ed.
Yeah.
And so move on, you know, my parents put me into private school to help with my education. Right. And I remember a math teacher I had, love her to death, who would spend hours with me, like after school, like trying to get me through it.
Trying to help you out.
Like, and I remember, you know, them telling my parents, like, he just needs to do consumer math and just be done with it, because he's not going to make it. Right.
Just shut the door on.
And the same thing in like writing, you know, like teachers are just like, well, he's doing the best he can. Never in middle school, high school did I ever think that I could be in the educational space that I ended up in. Doing, you know, my bachelor's in computer science, a master's at Berkeley in information, computer, or cybersecurity. And it's all because of the technology and the capabilities to support my disability.
Yeah.
It doesn't change my individual intellect, right?
Yeah.
My father, I got dyslexia from him. The man's never written a paper his entire life. I can pretty sure he hasn't, but he was never offered the resources and opportunities in technology
that you had
able to do. Right.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what we're going into with AI, right? It's the same thing. I think that with Wirewolf, is it fully autonomous? Yes. But there's one thing that I truly believe that an AI can't do, and that's make the decision.
Correct.
Assume risk, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you are a company, you're using Wirewolf, sure, it's going to do the grunt work I talked about earlier. In Map's going to run, you know, crack a hash, like the grunt work is done.
But
the meaningful thing is what's the risk?
Uh-huh.
Am I going to do something about it?
Right.
Am I going to accept this risk?
Mhm.
What's the best business decision? That's where the human is going to be at the beginning and the end of that loop.
And I totally agree with that right now. In an infant stage, that's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
As we progress down the road, and it has mission statement, executive decisions,
Mm-hmm.
the ability, and it knows more about the company than we do, right? I think down the road, it'll be like, hey, we got a problem. Shut that down.
Mhm.
So like we talked about those personalities
Mm-hmm.
with the wolf pack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have that alpha say, hey, that's a problem, right? We know the scripted duties. We know the statement. We know the mission. We know a little bit. Shut it down, open that, move that over.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be down the road,
Mm-hmm.
but I think you're always going to have to use that human interaction to say, hey, we're not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
We're not ready for that.
Yep.
I would hold off for another 2 weeks before we do, because we're moving something over here. I think it's crazy how you talk about technology assisting in your disability.
Mhm.
Right? And I think everybody has a disability at
Yeah.
some level,
Yep.
whatever that may be.
Mhm.
I do love the aspect of when I have those moments where I can't come up with it.
Mm-hmm. It's on the tip of your tongue.
I'm like, hey, what is the,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Such a great tool to use, but I'm afraid that I won't have to think one day.
Yeah. It's curiosity is the base of human intellect. Like Richard Feynman didn't become who he is just because he read a book.
Right.
Right. He had curiosity.
Yeah.
And that's the power of the human, curiosity.
Yeah.
That's what gave birth to AI, is curiosity, right? Quantum computing, curiosity. And that's something that I don't think is able to be replaced. I think it can be mimicked, but I don't think what we have as humans with curiosity can be replaced. And I think that, again, like using the disability analogy, if we can create, robot legs for someone who can't walk, who's complaining about that? Right. So it's like, that's great.
Yeah.
And I think that as we use technology to support, resource, develop, provide information, all those things are just a catalyst to what's really important, and that's the human curiosity. And we're going to use all this technology to answer more of our curiosity. And guess what? A whole lot faster, right? There was somebody in the world that had a really good idea from curiosity, but didn't know how to execute it.
Right.
Didn't have the means, the education, the resources, name it, to do it. We have removed those barriers essentially. Now, we're still in those growing pains, because if you ask AI something very technical based on a curious question, it's going to provide you information you don't know about.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. But guess what? You just go, hey, I don't know what that means.
Explain it to me.
Give it to me like I'm a first grade.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I always tell almost every single thing that I prompt in any AI model, I always want to know the 5 W's.
Who, what, when, where.
Why? Yep. I have this idea. I want to make, the tallest building in the world. Give me the 5 W's, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to make a decision.
Right.
So that's my example of like with Wirewolf, right? Is it going to automate the tasks? Yes, but you still have to have a person at the beginning. You have to have a person at the end, because all the meaningful content that the human really supplies that the AI can't, is best used at the beginning end.
Okay. Yeah.
Get all that data, get all that information. At the end of the day, I just want to know, what do I need to fix?
Right. What's our problem?
That's right. I always think about, I think I probably think this way just because, being in the military so long, but in the military, I can speak for myself as a leader, any subordinate NCOs, I don't care how they get to the. I don't care.
I want it
I just
accomplished.
we need this
Right.
mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Right. We need to be successful here. Right. I'm not in the weeds to how you got there. Right. Because I'm a decision maker. I need to know, and we have a responsibility to complete whatever said mission. Right. Whatever outcome you need. We just need to get there. And one of the things that we do, well, sometimes we do really bad, but sometimes we do really good, depending on which operational sphere you are in the military. But we generally do really good at just getting rid of the noise and just solving the problem. That's it.
That's what you need.
That's it.
That's
Yeah. You're in the middle of Iraq and you want a gym, but there's no gym. We got a center block over there, another center block over there. We got a tent pole.
You go.
Let's do some bench
Who's got duct tape?
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
It's completely unconventional thinking just to get to the outcome you want to have.
Yeah.
And I think that, as technology is developing, and I think AI is going to be embedded in all technology. I think it's going to be hard to find a new set of technologies
that will not have
AI. Because it goes to that being an accelerant.
Correct.
How fast, right?
Yeah.
And that's just going to compound over time into growth, into new technologies and new outcomes. And it's going to bring more people into different spaces.
Yeah.
Mathematics, science in general, right? More people are going to be now coming into these fields, which we need. We don't need 5 smart people in the world. We don't. We need everybody to be smart, right?
The whole place.
So, we need to incorporate acceptance as we move forward. Point at the things that are wrong, point at the things that are good, test, repeat, test, see what falls off the wagon, and then see where we're at in the next 10 years. And it's not going to be where we're at today.
Yeah.
In the news, you saw Fable 5, Mythos getting pulled by the government.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's very interesting. I'm the type of person that thinks you should be allowed to do anything you want as long as you're not harming another person.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yourself. Like I should be able to just, someone said it, I can't remember who, but like, you should be able to just swing your fists in the air as violently as you want to. It's not anybody.
Right. You're good.
You're good, right? Yeah. Now that becomes extremely complex in technology, but I think that I always lean more towards letting a market be free, right? Letting individuals be free. And if you start to apply government, generally the government does everything really bad.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
Most anything they do just doesn't get done.
Correct.
Right. So if you apply a government restriction to the market, the industry, private company, generally it's not going to help very much. Right. Does that mean we don't need to have laws where laws are due to protect themselves, others? Like, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we don't need any police. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I do think we need to be careful about restricting technology, specifically companies bringing it to market. Because again, the only way we can test and figure out what needs to fall off the wagon is by doing it.
Yeah. And I think if you're restricting companies so the U.S., hey, we're going to restrict you guys from doing this stuff, right? But you got China, Japan, all these guys.
Yeah, are they going to play by the same rules?
No, I don't think
they never have.
No, so they're already 2 weeks ahead of you.
Yeah.
So now you're trying to catch up.
Yeah. I think strategic position is very important for the U.S. right now. But again, we're pretty free and pretty curious.
Yeah.
Which means we can do quite a bit of damage, which is good. Yeah, I think it's every day something's going to change.
Every day.
Yeah, it's going to be a new atmosphere, new environment, new operation.
Yeah.
For Wirewolf, we're really excited about our vision.
Should be.
There's going to be a lot of hard questions that someone might ask about that vision, and that's the reason that's good.
Yeah.
We want.
Mm-hmm.
A good idea unchallenged is not a good idea at all. So,
Sure.
and if you're going to do something big, go. So I think we're very excited about, growing our vision. And we don't have all the answers because nobody else does. But as we meet the intent of our vision and our ultimate goal, hopefully we have played a part in redefining what cyber operations looks like.
Yeah.
Not only for the civilian sector, but for Department of Defense.
Yes. There's a lot of
education everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's one thing we do know now. This is fact. It's not Larry saying this. This is just the writing on the wall. The old cybersecurity operations are not going to scale.
They're not.
They're not.
Yeah.
Right now, everything is what I call audit focused.
Okay.
So everything is essentially most of the common practices. I'm not talking about huge corporations that have an entire red team and blue team. I'm talking about your mid-market company that's outsourcing security, right? They're posturing for an audit.
Yeah.
Not for security. And it's not, it's designed.
That's how it's designed.
It's designed that way.
Yeah.
Because cybersecurity is hard, which means you have to have smart people doing it with a bunch of certificates, 2 degrees, and if you look at, if you go online and try and look at like an entry-level cybersecurity analyst job, it says you gotta have 7 years of experience. Like
entry level.
Yeah, entry level. You've never done it before, but in order to get this job, you have 7 years of experience. Yeah, I got
What's an
oh, by the way, I know you spent 4 years doing a bachelor's studying this and 2 or 3 years studying this at a master's level. But you got to have those things, but we don't actually think you know anything to these 4 certs.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's just the way it's been developed and built. We did it for a reason. That reason is no longer valid. Right.
Yeah.
And so those mid-market companies, I truly feel that mid-market companies are going to explode soon. You're going to see way more micro companies and mid-market companies scale massively than you're going to see the enterprise, because it's way faster to grow your company with less people, more profit margin. You can handle more clients, right? Especially if you're a company that has gone all in AI, completely automate where you can automate. You're going to get down to these, mid-market companies pulling a billion a year in revenue with freaking 4 guys.
Right.
Right. So I don't think we're there today,
but it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. Yeah.
Threat actors generally in the past targeted very specific people. These were enterprise level threat or threat targets, maybe hospitals, a lot of information. There's a reason why you only get attacked if you have something that they want.
Exactly.
Right.
There's
so
a prize.
Yeah. Right. And if you have a mid-market company with 1,000 users, you're not going to waste your time.
Right.
Right. Mid-markets have had the opportunity to kind of fly under that. But most, and mid-market companies have been restrained by cybersecurity because they can't afford what's needed to scale at the rate they would like to scale.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Stuck.
Keep going.
You got these audits, and you're just positioning, complete an audit, and position for the next audit.
Yeah.
And so you're just checking the box, trying to survive, trying to scale, trying to grow. Mid-market companies are going to explode. They're going to, one in revenue per company, but the amount of companies. New companies going to start every day, probably every minute. And most of them are going to be successful.
That's crazy.
Where they couldn't.
Yeah.
And so that cybersecurity set of targets, that threat actor target list just grew massively. Right?
Yeah.
And they're not prepared for it. Enterprise, way more prepared for it. right? So
Yeah,
they will spend $24 million a year.
And they've already projected that. They've already,
Right.
big enterprises already said, here's where we're going to be.
Right. They know they're a target.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Mid-market's like shooting from their hip.
I got an MSP and MSSP, and I can only afford this certain level of security.
Right.
But that's all I need to make my audit.
Yeah.
I need SOC 2 type 2. What do I have to pay to get there?
Yeah.
Is it $15,000? Here we go.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not afforded the opportunity of security for security's purpose.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's our goal. Right. We really want to
So the mid-market
develop this in a way for everybody. But right now, the person that is left behind is the mid-market in essence.
Yeah. Just sitting there.
Just sit. And we only provide them resources for the purpose of minimal security, audit support, and for someone else to make money, which is great. That's the market. That's how we do things.
Yeah.
But it's not scalable. We are moving into an era where that's just not going to work anymore.
Yeah.
MSPs, MSSPs are going to have to scale and grow. Wirewolf is great for that. And mid-markets also need to worry about their independent led security, and Wirewolf is perfect for that as well. What does that look like in 1 year? Come back and ask me. I'll tell you. But that's the goal, is providing real security for security's sake, and having it be something that you can actually do. And you're not just you're not doing it to say you're secure. You're doing it to be secure. Which sounds the same, but it's not.
That's totally two different things.
Yeah. So I think it's very interesting. I also think that it's really important to have as many of these companies as possible. If you're talking to an investor, they want you to be the only company that does that one thing. Makes sense.
Correct.
But really the goal is to have as many companies doing possibly the same thing as possible. Again, that's how we figure out what works and doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. It can't just be one person holding the candlestick to light a room.
Correct.
And so I love empowering other companies, even if they're adjacent to us. I think it's great. And I think in order for any one of us to scale, we all have to be working on, a lot of people have to be working on the same problem.
Every bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a big problem.
Yeah.
It's good.
And
a lot of hands, a lot of hats.
We got lucky that the cybersecurity operation got to stay the same for,
now it's changing.
And it's going to change again. We're going to, like I said before, our goal is to be a part of the team that rewrites the definition of what cybersecurity operations look like.
Yeah.
But by the time that gets solidified, it'll be time to change it again.
Yeah. Ain't kidding.
Yeah.
Just when you get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Revamp it.
But I do think we're going to have a lot more people coming into spaces that they would not have. Yeah.
I agree.
They're very ambitious, thought-provoking people that now can actually do something with it.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I would like for you to give me a good little pitch for Wirewolf, for all the people out there who's probably in the mid-market, just for that conversation, like they're like, how would you market that? Give me a little spiel for somebody in the mid-market, how you could help them and cost them a month.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So it's based on endpoint is how we do it. Which, if you don't know what an endpoint means, basically how much things need to be tested, right? How many things needs to be touched by Wirewolf is essentially how much it would cost. But for the mid-market, it's everything we talked about already. Boiled down into one thing. You want to own security in a meaningful way that's also going to support your audit, but actually allows you the opportunity to practice actual security without having to pay a fortune, without having to hire a team. Wirewolf is the answer. It is an operating system that you're going to be able to click a button and be the decision maker on risk, business, and how you're going to remediate those tasks. That's what wirewolf's going to do for you. And it's the same thing for those third parties, those MSPs. It's the same value to the same client base.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So our pricing models, you can reach out to us for pricing models right now. We're focused on design partners, moving into pilot users. Again, we're still engineering this into a meaningful and safe and secure way.
Yes.
Which is our goal right now. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Not had any issues yet. But we don't want to paint the wall white and say the room's ready to move in.
Yeah, I got you.
We make sure that it's stable and is something that can bring true, meaningful security to our users. Sure.
Do you see a projected date of like a full, well, I don't say full release, like a really, really good beta 2.0?
Yeah. So right now we do have something ready for design partners for sure. In the cloud, ready to log in, ready to use. Our full unified security vision would take a year. We're projecting a year. Of course, if I can do that faster, I'm going to do it faster.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it faster. But I think that, there's a lot of unseen variables that we can't predict. For instance, a new model that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mythos is what everybody wants right now, but I guarantee you in 6 months.
Apocrypha? I mean,
Anthropic? Anthropic.
Anthropic.
Yeah. That model is what everybody wants. It's not out to the general public. It's going to come out. And I promise you this, if I had one prediction, wait 6 months, no one would be talking about Mythos anymore. It'd be a new model. It's going to be a new thing, right? So those are things that we can't predict right now, but I know they're coming. Yep. So that's going to accelerate our growth. So we get there.
Man, I wish I was smarter.
Too. You surround yourself with smart people.
I surround myself with dogs and cats.
Yeah.
And they're still smarter.
Yeah.
So when you have a new model that comes out like the Mythos, and you've developed this product, and that whole thing comes out, can you just take the core of that and then is it like pulling out a fuse and putting in a new fuse, or do you have to redevelop the whole?
No. Yeah. So we're model agnostic.
I had that when I was a baby.
Yeah.
Took penicillin.
Just penicillin. Yeah, we're model agnostic. We've trained on every model that we can get our hands on, including our own, which is called Ava. We specifically developed that way.
Okay.
We don't want to marry to any one model.
Right.
And that's the entire purpose of our intelligence layer that we've engineered with a knowledge graph. There's some Bayesian reasoning sprinkled in there, some stuff, but essentially we've made it wirewolf in a way where you can pipe your own model, any model. It doesn't matter.
That's awesome.
Any level of model, if you're using Fable 5 versus Sonnet, the only difference is going to be the reasoning power. So scan could take longer, shorter, find more meaningful paths. But yeah, I think that models aren't going to get dumber.
They're going to progress.
Yeah. So, and just like compute power gets cheaper over time, I think that, think about when you first bought a cell phone, first bought a laptop, first bought a computer, versus being able to buy a computer on Amazon today. That's way more powerful than what we had, in 2000. So, those things get cheaper over time. And the models just get better, right? So complete model agnostic, and it's gonna scale the rate. Do I think that it would be important for us and meaningful and fun to develop Ava? Yes. But like I said, there's no point in building a Ferrari if the Ferrari is already built. You just go buy it.
Correct.
It's way cheaper to buy it.
Yeah.
Than to build it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Go from scratch.
Yeah. I really like my Tesla, but I'm not. I'd rather just buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
I totally agree.
And if Tesla becomes so expensive to buy that it's more expensive than it is to build myself, I'll start building myself. But
Right.
until then, I'm
fine.
just gonna buy a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Let someone else do the work.
Yeah. Let them break their backs on it.
And I think if there's, if there are companies out there building models, I don't discourage them.
Right.
I would need someone to give me a really good argument to why. I don't want there to be a monopoly by any means,
Right.
but we got enough.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah.
There's ones that you can just, put right on your own computer locally.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to figure out why someone would want to dump a couple of billion. That, unless there's some meaningful scientific discovery, that you've kept locked in the box and no one knows about. But yeah, I would need a meaningful argument to why at this point.
Yeah. Why would we just invest in it?
Yeah. So,
well, in closing, is there anything more you would like to say about Wirewolf?
Yeah. So, not really. I think Wirewolf is really fun. So Wirewolf is not just a solution to a problem. We want it to be fun. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that you would see in our platform, it's just there for fun. It's not just a tool. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It runs tooling and operations and workflows, and then provides that to you in a meaningful way that's actually fun. Getting to watch Alpha actually do what it does. So,
speak to you.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Asking Alpha questions to findings as the scan is run.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That's cool.
What is that?
I just did that. What does that mean?
Uh-huh.
So I think making it fun is going to be another layer to meaningful change in cybersecurity, because you're learning as it's doing the thing as well.
Yeah.
So, trying to make it fun is as well as meaningful. Creating a new category, creating a new way of thinking and about doing cybersecurity. But it doesn't excel if it's not fun.
Right.
So we have fun.
Yep.
I have a great team. And every single time we're working together, we're just having fun developing a thing that we truly believe in. We think is gonna change cybersecurity in a very meaningful way.
Yeah.
And we're happy to be on the same ship with everybody else.
Yeah.
Trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And just get to a actual unified security operation.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I think you're on your way, and I think you have a good hold on it. And I think in the next 2 years, I look forward to doing a podcast with you on a yacht.
I'll either be on a yacht or I'll be in a box on the side of the street. It'll be one of the two. It'll be one of the two. There's two outcomes.
Yeah. Two polar opposites.
Yeah, there's none. So yeah, I think it's fun, to be retiring out of the military and then going into this project.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Thank you.
I think that it's just fun, and I don't. Someone had asked me, every time we retire out of the military, it's always like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, when you grow up.
Right, when you grow up. And it's difficult because, you spent way more time than I did. I only did 20 years, you were around when you had muskets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just came out of that.
Yeah. Brand new on the market. So but the point being is like when we spend that amount of time and we start, let's say as a private, we develop as a leader, right? And we do meaningful things and we get into meaningful positions. And then all of a sudden, right when you get to a rank and position and skill level of leadership and knowledge, it's time to exit.
Yeah.
Right. You exit and none of that matters to me.
None.
Is gone. Right?
Never been.
Right? So you and I both were master sergeants, right?
Uh-huh.
what does that even mean?
Nothing.
Nothing. It doesn't matter.
No one cares.
No one cares. It doesn't matter.
No one
You know, you could have been the command sergeant major in
Like,
Fort
that's
Jackson.
cool.
Great.
Push a mom.
Right. Exactly. And if you're trying to get into this space like cybersecurity and you exit the military, and you have a proven track record of being like very high functioning leader, right?
Mhm.
You're starting from zero,
Never been.
right? You're not starting from 100.
No.
You're starting from a zero.
Zero.
So
Yeah.
when I thought about my exit, and Wirewolf came at a great time, because for me, I can't imagine me not continuing to be a leader.
Right.
And the best way I can do that is to build something that I believe in and lead it
Yes.
the finish.
Yeah. Every bit. Yeah.
You know, I could get out and I could go apply for jobs and do this and do that. And that's great. Those are all good things. But for me, I have a vision, I have a goal, and nothing means more to me than continuing what I built in my time in the military, which is build a thing, build a team to do the thing, and then lead that success. And so this is a perfect opportunity for me to exit.
It's a good segue right into a whole new world.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did anything else? They just go back to stripping.
What?
There's always that.
I tried it.
Yeah, I'll take that over too. It's just a matter of time. But yeah, I appreciate the conversation. Thank you for having me on. I look forward to coming on in the near future as well. Talk about some other cool stuff.
Real appreciate your time today. I know you're busy, man. You got phone calls and things to do.
Yeah.
Once again, One Guy, Two Cups. Larry Orton, CEO and founder of Wirewolf. Great conversation. I think there's going to be some big things that happen in the future for you. And it's pretty exciting to be here on the ground level, here at the headquarters.
That's right.
The headquarters of the Wirewolf.
That's right.
And so wirewolf.ai, check it out. I'll put a link on the bottom. Make sure you subscribe, follow all the yum yums for YouTube. Thank you for your time, Larry. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yeah.